Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War. And this podcast is our thoughts and discussions about the Flames of War games and other related interests. This episode is brought to you by Tracy George and Chaos Magic. We are not claiming to be experts of the game, but just wanted to have a casual conversation about Flames of War. Without any further delay, we now make our advance onto the podcast. And here are your hosts, Tracy and Arthur.
This is Tracy.
And I'm Arthur.
Welcome to War Journal Flames of War, Episode 8, Stormtroopering Through the Hedges. What's on tap for today's episode, Arthur?
Well, it's overdue, but we have a large quality of things to talk about. The breakdown is as follows. We discuss a lot of questions of the week in front page news. Our hobby has two parts. I discussed a framework for my army, and we had a brief discussion on speeding up the game. We look at U.S. anti-aircraft weapons and keep your enemies close. We tackle line-of-sight issues in That's New. We both learned something new in National Tactics. In our new segment, That's Not All, we talk more about the movie Fury. Sun Tzu is back, and we end with a brief discussion on a few board games in off-topic.
Extra, read all about it. Battlefront Front Page news.
All right, well, it's been over a week, so we have a lot to actually cover, especially with the do you know that question things, whatever those things are called.
Question of the week.
Yeah, well, we got questions of, 5 weeks?
Question of the months.
So, of course, we go to front page news, and then they're going through their colors that are coming out, and...
I did see the Breakthrough Assaults Color Award review. Kind of interesting. Basically told me what I need to know about the Color War. It's like a combination of paint guide, hobby information, and in general, just not something I feel like I want. But if you like, I think it would be very useful if you want to know how to paint things very historically. They have a lot of guides about doing that. And even though they change their paintings, all their paints, there's a guide somewhere on their website that tells you what the new colors are.
Okay. Moving down, looks like they're moving. I did see they did like their open fire box, so they're opening it up, and you can see the, lake or wherever that's outside their store front, or their, where their business is located. So I guess they're moving out of that location. So they talked about that, and then we have.
So no update next week. So we probably won't have a front page news when we do our actual episode.
And WWPD, there's a battle report for them. And yes, it is thundering. So if you hear any thunder or whatever, it's thundering here. We decided last time. There's several things that happened last time why we got delayed. It was more than just a storm, internet out, and other things. So we're just going to tackle through this one. Another storm's coming through this weekend, and so WWPD, breakthrough assault tanks on the Western Front.
Four-player game. I just noticed their WW Operation Epson is a 4-player game.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to look at that.
So I think it was like more of a mega battle type situation. But I'm not sure. And then there's some survival guide that Matt Papa Bear, I guess it's Poulin?
Oh.
Put out, so there's that one. And Scottish Nationals report. Oh, nope. Now we're getting to questions of the week. Okay.
A lot of them.
So we're going back to question number 68. We're going way back to 68. Because that was like 3 weeks ago we answered this one.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is about an American armored rifle platoon with all of its teams mounted in their M3 half-tracks. The platoon is assaulted by a German pioneer platoon making contact with all the half-tracks. The German assault bails out all of the half-tracks. None are destroyed, and no passengers were harmed. Have the Germans won? And I said no, and you said yes. And I still don't know.
I don't either.
The answer is no. And the reason is, at this point, the defending teams include the bailed out transports and their passengers. Infantry teams carried as passengers will get a chance to dismount and either counterattack or break off. Passenger gun teams cannot dismount during the assault unless their transport is destroyed.
Okay.
All right, so that one's done. Now we move to 69, which is another one we answered 3 weeks ago. And I think we only got one choice on this one, which looks like these next questions coming up are one choice. It says 5. Is this the one that had that? Yeah, this is the one that had that typo. I remember this now. One says 5 and the other says 4. I'll read the poll question one then. 4 U.S. SP, which self-propelled, artillery platoons fire a combined artillery bombardment. How do you position the artillery template? I'm not going to go through all these choices, but I said D, which is line the template with the platoon of the shooter's choice. And you said B, find the middle between all participating platoons and align the template at that position. Okay. Going down, I hope I don't miss this one. The correct answer is D. Line the template with the platoon of the shooter's choice. The only reason I knew that is because USA can combine artillery bombardments if they have staff teams. So I can have 105s over here, 105s over here. If they both have a staff team, they can make one big bombardment. So you can count as 8 instead of 4-4. That's the only reason I kind of knew that one. All right, we are now heading to new territory, 70, 71, and 72. All right, 2 full-strength gun troops. This is what they mean. So 4 guns each. From a British field artillery battery, fire a combined bombardment on a German position. They range in successfully on their first attempt and use the double width template. The German team under the aiming point is destroyed. During the following German turn, one of the British troops is pinned down and subsequently fails to rally. Will the British battery now be able to fire a repeat bombardment? Yes or no?
I unfortunately have seen the answer, so I will not be answering.
Okay. I will say yes, they will, but if it's less than what the template requires, they'll go down to a smaller template. That is what I said. And I'll put an X for you. Okay, so, well,
I think if
what would have you said?
Probably no.
No? Okay, so, the answer is yes. Being pinned down only removes the ability of the affected gun teams to fire in a bombardment. It has no effect on the staff team, the spotting team, nor the guns in the other platoons. So that's like USA too. They have the same thing. If you want to do a repeat bombardment, you have to do it with the same units that did it before. But if some of those can't shoot, you go with what you've got. And if it's not enough to do the big template, you drop down to the smaller size template.
I really do bombardment, so I hardly know these rules.
Yeah. All right, so... Oh, that one we can check off. We got the answer to that one. So now we're ready for 71. And again, it's going to be one choice. Multiple choices here, but only choose one. It says, which platoons have to test for morale after an assault? Okay, so A, all participating platoons that are below half strength. B, all platoons breaking off that are below half strength. C, all participating platoons that have lost tank, infantry, and or gun teams. D, all platoons breaking off that have lost tank, infantry, and or gun teams. E, all participating platoons that are below half strength and have lost one or more teams in the assault. F, all platoons breaking off that are below half strength and have lost one or more teams in the assault. All right, I want to put this down as my answer. Okay, I've got my answer.
I'm going to say E.
E. I agree with you on E. Because they've all, whether you win or not in an assault, you've lost one, so you're going to check morale. That's what I'm going with. And, okay, so, the answer is down there.
E.
The correct answer is E. Yoo-hoo! All right. Well, we're doing pretty good on this one.
Oh, yeah.
All right, last one. And again, this one goes clear to H, a choice up to H.
Wow.
And we only get to choose one. An artillery battery uses direct fire on an infantry platoon holed up in a building. The 105 millimeter guns are rated as breakthrough guns. The guns score one hit. What happens next? So out of these choices, is it A, one team is automatically destroyed? B, one team must pass an infantry save or be destroyed? C, the guns must pass a firepower test to destroy one team? D, one team must take an infantry save followed by a firepower test? E, all teams in a building are automatically destroyed? F, all teams in the building must pass an infantry save or be destroyed? G, the guns must pass firepower tests to destroy each team in the building? H, all teams must take an infantry save followed by a firepower test. All right, I'm going to put down my answer. All right, I've got mine.
I'm going to say A.
Which one?
A.
A. I'm going to say C. So why did you pick A, which is one team is automatically destroyed?
Because got one hit. It's just been like these guns, I'm assuming they break through. I believe they have a 1+ firepower test. So with the breakthrough guns, that means you don't get your infantry save. In the breakthrough gun, and you have a 1+ firepower test, so you automatically pass that, so they're just dead.
Okay. I went with C because I don't think all breakthrough guns have 1+. I think some have like a 3+, some have a 2+. And I've done it once or twice, fired my priest direct fire or something, but otherwise it's been bombardment, so I don't even remember what their firepower is on a straight shot. So
Yeah.
we will,
For some reason, I think 105 is a 1+ firepower. That's why I say auto. Otherwise, you still need to make a firepower test. But
well, I don't want to cheat and look it up, so we'll find out next time. And you may be right. All right, so anything else?
well, that'll probably be in 3 weeks, because next week they're moving, so they might not update it.
Oh, that's true.
So 2 weeks after that is where we probably have the answer.
Okay. We will do it. And we'll be right again.
Our hobby.
All right, Arthur, you had something you want to talk about, and then I got something I kind of want to talk about.
Okay. I still have not got any painting done, but I realized one of the things I need to get done was have at least a general idea of how I want my army to look. And I got a couple things, a rough draft of, what my army is going to look like. I have 2 battalions I'm going to call Fire Dragon Hunters, and 1 battalion I'm going to call the Red Dragon Tank Battalion.
Okay.
And my overall army going to be called the Ruby Dragon. Now, all these initial ideas I got was because I want to base some of it on historic, and I'm using the list from Bridge of Ramongan.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually looked through and read through the list, and I learned some stuff how these lists are put together. Because it's only recently, because before I thought like these entire lists was like one army, like the 512th Tank Hunter Company. It's only recently I realized only the headquarters and combat platoons is from that force. So the supporting platoons are from from somewhere else. So with that in mind, I actually looked through the list in here to figure out how they're set up. And I came away, there's like 4 main lists in Bridge of Ramongan for German. And they are the 512th Heavy Tank Hunter Company, the 654th Heavy Tank Hunter Battalion, and the 506th Heavy Tank Battalion, and the SS Armor Brigade Westfalen. And the SS one is kind of different from everyone else, the first three are actually work together fairly well, while the SS is by themselves. And a couple of things I noticed is for like the 512th, they have three companies, and I just realized like in my list it can take either one or two. One is the first company, two is the second company. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that's what the numbers meant. And for some reason, the third company actually did not work with them. They worked somewhere else in the battle. So, and the other thing is like, when I talk about auto carriers, I mentioned he can only be used in on the second list, and his guys are a lot weaker. Well, I actually read about them and found out why. Of course, auto carriers was in charge of the second company, so that's why he can only be used there. But also, like, when they formed this unit, each side got like 2 weeks to train. To train the use of the Jaeger Tiger. The people of the first company came from units that were used to hull-mounted vehicles, while the people from the second unit are used to turret tanks. So those people are not used to hull mounted, so they have to get used to the Jaeger Tiger. With the first guys are like, well, we already use stuff like this, so that's why the first company is a lot better, at least stat-wise, in this game. The next list is like the 654th. Like their two lists, from what I can tell, is like it's the same unit or same force, but it's like period break. Like before this date, this is C. After this date, this is what they like. So that was kind of weird. But even the one after them, the 506 Heavy Tank Battalion, they're even weirder because one list is the 506, and then the other list is the 510th, which they did not mention at all in the brief description ahead of time. It's just like, well, since you need an option, here's them, which I don't even know why they're there. Unlike everything else, I can explain why the difference between each. There's like, So, and if I found it weird, well, not weird, but like between the three of those, like if you take the 512th as your main force, the second company can get the 654th as support, or they could get either the 506th or 510th as support, but not the first company, which is probably historical reasons for that, but it is interesting how that's broken down. And since where the tanks come from probably matters for like logos and vehicles, all that kind of thing, I figured that I need to keep all that in mind. So that's why I decided, like, I came up with my 3 battalions. I kind of need to design them ahead of time, and then what's in them, and then when I have my list, it's like, okay, this is coming from this unit, and this is coming from this unit. Because so my 2 Fire Dragon Hunter tanks is modeled after the Heavy Tank Hunter, and my Red Dragon is modeled after just the Heavy Tank Battalion. And since the SS was so weird, I decided I'm going to leave them off for later. So that's mainly what I wanted to say. So.
All right, so we've been talking some again about speeding up the game. And one of the things that I thought kind of slowed the game down, I kind of want to talk about it, was that it's a neat idea, is the allocating the hits out. So this one gets hit, this one gets hit, this one gets hit, this one gets hit. Oh, let's go back to the beginning. This one gets hit, this one gets hit. And then you roll their saves separately. I was just wondering, could we just, like 40K and other games, except for you said, we'll get to your point on that, special characters, stuff like that. But why not just pick all those dice up and just roll saves? I could see both, but I'm trying to save time in the game.
Yeah, and the thing that I just realized after we talked about this for 40K, pretty much each edition of 40K seems like they changed how they did it.
Really?
It's completely different. Like, I think the current edition is like you roll your saves until you failed, and then whoever's closest to the shooters is dead. And then you go to the next one. And you roll. And then you keep going to whoever's dead. If everyone's the same, you just roll them all at once. And then, okay, that means you're dead, starting with whoever's closest. That's all that matters. And the only thing that changes is if there's something different about them. Or different saves. Otherwise, you just, if they're all the same, you just roll them all once and you just start kicking them off closest. Right. Wow. Before that is like, it's kind of closer to how it is in Flames of War. You like, okay, this guy's hit, or this guy's hit, this guy's hit, this guy's hit. And the people are all the same, roll them all at once.
Right.
And then people are different any kind of way, you roll them separately.
I wonder if we kind of take that somehow with a takeaway. Because I remember Beast of War, when they started out, the guy was explaining that, well, whoever gets hit and fails save, you take the closest guy, which wasn't really the rule. But it's kind of what you're talking about then.
Maybe because he was playing 40K at the time, and they just
or maybe it's a second edition thing.
Or that
I don't know. I've never played second edition. I didn't even read the rule book since I started playing this third because I didn't want to get confused.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, it's just, I've got the book, but I'm not going to read it. So I'd like to see us play a game. Maybe we'll talk before. Do we want to take away the closest, or do we just, they're all the same, blah, except for what do you do when you got those warriors in there, you know, compared to, or ones that take 5+ save, but then you got those others that take a 3+ save. Yeah. What do you do?
And that would be like, you take everything, you roll separately for the difference that you roll separately. So, say like all your infantry, well, on the old 40K, like everything's different. Like bazooka guys, people with 5+ save, you put them on separately, and then once that's all done, whoever are the same, you pick those dice together and roll them together. And then how many died there dies in that group. Eternity, you could just do the, okay, let's just start at the beginning. Save, dead. Okay, next one. Dead.
Okay, well, I think next time we play, maybe we should try something like this. We'll talk before about, since you played some of these others, about what you think would be probably the best do for this.
Yeah.
And we'll try it, and then when we come back, we'll give a report about how it went.
I did something similar to this for when we played the mid-war game. Because,
oh, yeah, you had huge. You had 21, 27 or something like that men in each platoon.
It would take forever if I go, like, rank them out. So I just roll them everything together and die. And, like, okay, 6 people died. And I tried my best to just randomize pick. Okay, this guy died, this guy died, this guy died. I randomly. I didn't, because normally I wouldn't have control over who's died, so I just try to randomize that way. And amazingly enough, I think I actually got through that part of this phase faster than I did if I had a smaller army.
I think maybe this is the way I'm thinking about it. Okay, so you have, let's say you got a platoon of 5 men, and there's a bazooka in there. So I get hit 7 times. Okay, so that's 1 extra dice than what the men I have out here. So I'm going to put 6 dice on those 5 men and just roll those dice.
Yeah.
Not put 2 dice on one guy.
Yeah.
And then roll that 1 die for the bazooka guy.
Yeah.
Because it used to be put 1 die here, 1 die there, 1 die here, 1 die here. Here's the bazooka guy gets it, and I put another one over here. And then now let me take these 2 dice and roll. Let me take this. Well, you guys. Well, it depends. You know, you can take each one of those separately. But to me, that's going to slow down the game compared to, oh, you got 7 hits. I got 5 and 1. So these guys are going to hit 6 times. He's going to get hit once. Let me pick all those dice up. All right, I lost 3. So let me take 3 guys off, and he lives.
Long as we got to keep in mind that this will skew those results into favor of the attacker. This system is not good for a defender.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm all for trying to speed up the game. That's for sure.
I don't know how much worse for the defender, but it will be worse.
Well, we'll see. I'll take out your 21 men quicker. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do it.
Keep your allies close, but keep your enemies closer.
All right, so it's my week to do a unit, and I'm going to do one of a unit that seems to be kind of getting stuck in my army, but I really do like them, and that's my anti-aircraft, my vehicles. My anti-aircraft artillery self-propelled platoon, which two different types of vehicles. So you can get one of each or two of each. So you can run with two vehicles or four, but there's only two types of vehicles. So the first one is an M16 MGMC Quad 50 caliber vehicle. So it's running around with the Quad 50. And then there's also the M15 CGMC with a 37 millimeter gun. And the price for these are, I'm kind of going off the Blood, Guts, and Glory. Blood, Guts, and Glory. And they're both confident, but one is veteran and one's trained. So if you just want one of each, for trained it's 150 points, 200 points for the veteran. Then if you, oops, I said that wrong, 75 points. This is why I take them. I was like, that seems expensive. The trained is 75 points. The veteran's 100. So I get both vehicles for 100 points, being veteran. That's why I take them. They're pretty cheap and they're very versatile. If you want two of each, the train's 150 points and the veteran's 200 points. Now, what do these do? All right, so they are anti-aircraft. So they're not like the AA MGs or self-defense. So they get their full rate of fire against an aircraft. And with the Quad 50, it's going to be a half track and it's going to have one armor in the front and nothing on the side, nothing on the top. It can shoot 16 inches, get 6 dice, so that's even on the move, 6 dice. Anti-tank of 4, so that's a really, really good anti-tank, with a 5+ firepower. So it's not bad to take against infantry also. 6 dice against infantry.
Okay, so what was that again?
That's the M16 MGMC Quad 50.
Okay, so what was this at?
They're considered half track for movement. That's the kind of the bad thing. They kind of get slowed down. But one armor on the front, 0 everywhere else. And they are an anti-aircraft, so when they're shooting at your planes, I get that full 6 dice against the airplane.
Okay, so they have 6 dice. Okay.
Yep, at 16 inches. Against your plane, 24. Because you had the 8 inches. And anti-tank 4 with a 5+ firepower.
And there are 200 points for 2 of each? For
2 of each. So I'd get, I normally just buy 1 of each, but yeah, for 200 points, I get 2 of those Quad 50s, and I'll get 2 of the 37 millimeters for 200 points. That's being veteran.
Oh, what was the difference between them?
Okay, what do you mean?
Between the different types.
Oh, that's what I'm getting to this one.
Oh.
Okay, so that was the Quad 50.
Oh, okay.
Now, with the 37 millimeter one, it is considered wheeled. That is interesting. I thought they were both half tracks. It's wheeled. In the picture, it looks like they're half track too, but it says wheeled. Okay, same armor, 1 in front, nothing on, 0 everywhere else. Not dashes though, so it's 0s. But this one can shoot 24 inches. It's going to get 4 shots, so I'll drop down to 2 on the move. And anti-tank of 5 with a 4+ firepower. So, yeah, so
I'm just looking and comparing them to my Whirlwind and my Alpha Wind, and myself are a lot more expensive. My guys are tanks, or tank body, so I have better armor, and my guns are a little bit better. Otherwise, the stats are very similar.
Yeah, so I've been, for the points, 100 points, I pretty much stick these in every list now, it seems like, I've been making. especially since you started kind of running aircraft. But also, you need to go capture an objective. They can run over there. You need to go against infantry. They go against infantry. If you're low enough on the side, they might be able to get you on the side. If you got, well, some of yours only has 3, and it says anti-tank 5, so I got a chance to destroy you or bail you out with it.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a pretty versatile little unit. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Now, I just got to keep in mind that your equivalent of the Whirlwind. Or the
Some
also
ways.
win.
Yeah. I guess I have to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, like stat-wise are almost identical. It's just like I have more armor, and my guns are like one better. Like I can take one better. Otherwise, range and number of shots are the same.
All right, so be on the lookout for them, Arthur, because they're normally out there.
That's new.
All right, here's the situation. Think of a square, and we got 4 corners on that square. In the lower right corner, we got my Pershing. In the lower left corner, we got a German infantry. In the upper left corner, we got a Stug. In the upper right corner, we've got a German half-track. So we got Germans in 3 places and a Pershing in the other place. Now, separating the Stug and half-track from the infantry and the Pershing is a huge hedgerow that nobody can see over. Now, everybody looks like they're about 2 inches away from the hedgerow. So if the Pershing was going to shoot, who could it see?
Well, just infantry, unless they move up next to it.
Okay, you're right. So it can only see the infantry. So we're going to do what you said. We are going to move the Pershing right up there. So the Pershing's in contact with the hedgerow. Who can it see now?
If you could shoot over the hedgerow, it should be everyone.
Yep. It can see everybody. So, okay, very good. Now I'm going to add a little twist. I'm going to add another group of hedgerows, and so it's going to make it into like a plus sign now. So everybody's in their own little section of the hedgerows. Okay. So now the Pershing's still in that lower right corner, and it's in the middle of the hedgerow between it and the half-track. So who could it see?
Just a half-track.
You're correct. Now, what if I move this to the corner? So now the Pershing is in that intersection where all 4 of the hedgerows are meeting.
Can you see everyone now?
Yes. So whatever piece of like this linear terrain is like that, whatever you're up against, that's what you can see through, even diagonally. So it can still see the Stug. So if it's in the corner, it can shoot anybody. If it's not in the corner, it can only see across the hedgerow it's in contact with. That's it. So you did very good.
This is your in-depth reporter, Tiger Sherman, from Military Times News, and our continuing coverage of national tactics.
All right, so this time it's a German special rule. What is the German special rule we're going to go over?
Well, I want to talk about the Stormtrooper move.
Okay. Very popular German maneuver.
Oh, I love it. Though I was looking through it and I realized, I forgot about that. I might be doing some things wrong.
Oh, well, that's part of learning.
Yeah. Again, any German platoon with a command team may attempt to move in the assault step instead of assaulting.
Okay.
It's a skill test. If you pass it, you get to move 4 inches, no matter what your normal movement is. If you fail, you can't move any further. And of course, either way, you can never be a part of assaults. Now, there's a lot of restrictions to this special rule. Yeah, even though it's not in the movement step, the Stormtrooper move may be used to mount or dismount like you was in the movement.
Okay.
You cannot make a stormtrooper move if you move at the doubled, or if you're bailed out vehicles, or you're pinned down unless you're an armored vehicle. For the last one.
Yeah.
You also cannot use it if your previous turn or previous phase you use eyes and ears. And mobile gun teams and gun teams that shot earlier in the turn cannot make a stormtrooper move. Wait, what? And mobile gun teams and gun teams that shot earlier in turn cannot make a stormtrooper move. Did that mean a mobile gun team that does not shoot can make a stormtrooper move to move?
I suspect so. Unless they're, I don't have the book in front of me.
That's like, it just occurred to me, like, wait, guns that can't move, they make shot earlier.
Oh, okay. I see what they're saying here. Probably because, well, they're just like machine guns. It takes a while to get the stuff packed up to move. So this is like quick movement. So it's saying mobile gun teams and gun teams because they were so busy shooting, they don't have enough time to pack up their equipment to make that quick maneuver of the stormtrooper move.
Is it immobile gun teams?
Yeah.
Good. Well,
so it sounds like any gun team, because it does say gun teams.
yeah.
So I don't know why they put the immobile in front, just gun teams. So it sounds like any gun team that shot can't do a stormtrooper move.
But my thing I just realized is immobile gun team part, because I thought immobile gun teams can't move.
Well, you can get a transport too,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
to tow them.
So I guess if you don't shoot, you
So
can tow them, and then stormtrooper move to tow them some more.
Yes. Yeah. I don't see that.
Wow.
It says he didn't shoot.
Yeah.
And see, they're not unloading, so they're just continuing moving, so it's like a quick maneuver.
It never occurred to me.
So I am going to be watching. If you shoot any of your gun teams, they're not going to be doing any stormtrooper moves on me. I'm going to bust you on that. No, I don't think you've been doing that anyway.
Yeah, I think the thing that confuses I do that with tanks.
Yeah, your tanks.
I do that with tanks, but I don't do it with
Yeah.
gun teams. But wow, that's something new now.
Yep, so I didn't even know that either. Something new! What else did you find?
I just realized I said that wrong. It's when they fire artillery bombardment. They can't use a stormtrooper move. So I can do a straight shot with my immobile guns, and then stormtrooper move
With the transport.
with the transport.
Yeah, because I don't see how your guns can't move, period.
Yeah, that was my question. Is that normally they can't move, period, but they say I cannot make a stormtrooper move if I shoot.
Yeah, it's probably something. There's probably something in the errata or that fact, front sheet.
Oh no, it was right before. The other thing is, if you fire artillery bombardment, you can't make a stormtrooper move.
Okay,
Those are two different things.
so we're back to where we were.
Well, yeah, back to where we
So
were.
if
Yeah,
they do a straight shot, or if they do an artillery, they won't be able to do a stormtrooper
yeah,
move.
it's
Just
mobile
shot
gun
period.
shot period. Yeah,
Okay.
but other stuff, if they do artillery bombardment, they cannot do a stormtrooper move. And trains also cannot make a stormtrooper move.
Now, I'm wondering if you guys didn't shoot. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't have moved them in a movement step anyway. I was thinking about, can you hook up your transport and then do a stormtrooper move if they didn't shoot? But why wouldn't you hook them up in a movement step? So that doesn't make sense anyway.
Well, you could trample up, move, and then stormtrooper move and move again.
Oh, you know what? Movement step, hook them up, move, stormtrooper move, unhook. And they're set up for next turn.
Oh, yeah. Because like hooking them up is a movement step.
No.
Or
It's in the movement step you hook them up.
hook them up. Okay.
Now, if they've already moved and you hook up, you don't get to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, because I think in the rules it's in the movement step, if they move, they can't unhook. But could you move them in the movement step and then unhook them with the stormtrooper move? That's something we'll have to figure out. All right, so we just checked the rule book, just to kind of, because we were totally confused. So it said that it's the same as people dismounting and mounting from a vehicle. So if you started your turn mounted, you can dismount in the movement step. But Stormtrooper allows you to have the choice of doing this in the salt step.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you can't hook up, move, and then unlimber during the Stormtrooper move. But it does sound like if you were already hooked up at the beginning of your turn, you could move, then on the Stormtrooper move, unlimber. Because you started your turn already hooked up, already mounted. It doesn't say anything about if you moved in a movement step. So, and I tried checking their where they do the facts and stuff, and there was nothing in there about that.
I think I'm going to ask on the forums.
Yeah.
That's, the more we talk about it, more I'm getting confused. So let's just move on.
So yeah, so just remember, from what I got from it, if you start mounted, you get a dismount. If you did not start mounted, you don't get the dismount.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go with that right now. Maybe some people can let us know. All right. All right, step right up, step right up. Have I got a tank for you? It has a rate of fire of 10, even on the move. In addition, it shoots 40 inches. Also, it has an anti-tank of 20 with a 1+ firepower. All this can be yours for the low cost of 825 points each.
I'm not sure.
Ah, but wait, that's not all. All right, so you wanted to revisit something about the movie Fury.
Yes. It was after talking about it, some things that concerned me when I went home and thought about it. And also, like, I watched some of the special features on the Blu-ray after our discussion, and kind of maybe I think we should go back to it and mention some things.
Okay.
One thing we both agreed on and we talked about in detail is how unlockable the characters were. And I've also seen Band of Brothers, so I can now compare and see the Band of Brothers cast overall are much more likable.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for Sobel.
That's a really good point. I'll come back to that later.
Oh, and that one commander that kept getting him killed because
yeah.
I can't remember, Dyke, I think.
Yeah. But in general, the cast of Battle Brothers are more likable. One thing I did want to mention is, like, before the final scene, the most egregious member of the Furry cast, he did an apology against the new guy while he was in the bar, and he kind of mentioned, like, how much they're being a jerk, and overall you think he's a good guy. That doesn't quite balance out for what he's done, but it is something on it. Something else that was even stronger about I got from the special features is Fury did have World War II vets that helped with his career as advisors. And the director mentioned there's a time where the vets and the actors were in a meeting together and everyone else left. And the only thing he knows is the vets told the actors things that happened or things that they'd done that they didn't even tell their families.
Right.
And they also had some interviews with the advisors, and the vets were talking about some of the things they'd done. And one of the things that occurred to me is, like, when we talked about Brad Pitt's character, you mentioned how up and down he was, just like he's up. And how you, the problems you talked about Brad Pitt's character, I heard a vet mention that that's exactly how he acted during the war. And the exact same way, he also said he saw other people act that way. So, like, what I want to come back to is, like, even though, yes, the characters were unlockable, I think it's possible that, and Fury was not based on actual events, it's fiction, but I think overall the characters of Fury probably are more closely related to what some people actually did, whereas Band of Brothers, they probably either trimmed it down some or cut some of the bad stuff up because they didn't want the disrespect or bring down these famous people's name. And one thing you mentioned, except for Sorbo, I do believe his family complained how he was portrayed in the books, in the movie, in the TV show. So I think that might have been something. Since in Fury there's no actual people names connected, and since I think that might have been closer to how some soldiers actually behaved. They wasn't proud of their behavior, because that's another thing to mention. They did things that not proud of, but they did what they needed to do, make sure this world was a better place.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm proof of their how they acted, but now I'm also a little bit more see it from, I don't want to condemn them because it might be condemning real heroes. And also comparison to Fury and Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers is towards the end of the series, you sort of saw the group overall kind of turn darker. But then it kind of just ended. Whereas the cast of the Fury, they were on the front lines since North Africa. They were on the front lines longer. So I could really see that just degrades on their morality. Mm-hmm. So something I thought we should put together. So even though we said the cast is unlikable, we don't want to put that in context of real heroes who also acted that way.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
Yeah. I still have the problem that okay, so it's all fictionalized and you want to get into the movie, but then you just don't like the characters. So that's where I have the problem. If it was okay, this is based on this person's life and this is what happened, then okay, I was expecting to be entertained and wanting to like the characters and root for them and stuff like that, but I came out oh, they got shot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they died. That's kind of where I'm coming from it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think now I understand how they developed the characters, because you mentioned the actors worked with the Vietnam vets. I keep wanting to say Vietnam. The World War II vets a lot. And I think they try to port some of the personalities they got from the vets into these characters. And so they were going for more genuine, more a realistic look that's not heroic.
So would you still? I think you said 3 Iron Crosses.
Yeah.
So would you still keep the 3, or would you change it?
I still keep the 3.
I'll still keep it 2. Star General.
All right, soldiers, you will shape up and you will listen, because we are now going to talk about Sun Tzu and the art of war. Attention!
All right, so we're continuing our discussion with Sun Tzu, and we're still in terrain, which has been a pretty important chapter, I think.
Very much.
Yeah. So we're on 16. When the common soldiers are too strong and their officers are too weak, the result is insubordination. When the officers are too strong and the common soldiers too weak, the result is collapse. So if you're weak in one or the other, you
got a problem.
You got a problem. Which I guess in Flames of War, I don't think that really applies too much as far as this goes.
I guess insubordination is you keep failing a leadership test or morale
Well,
test.
you do have to take the worst.
Yeah.
If the warrior, unless he's got a special rule, warrior joins this platoon,
Well,
you have to take the worst. So that could, I guess that could be part of this, then, what you're saying there. Yeah, I can see that now. Okay, number 17. When the higher officers are angry and insubordinate, and on meeting the enemy give battle on their own account from a feeling of resentment, before the commander-in-chief can tell whether or not he is in a position to fight, the result is ruin.
yeah, basically, if one of the people in charge is upset and just doing something just because he's upset, that's probably a bad idea.
You will do this because I said so. But sir, no, you will do this because I said so.
But but the commander said to go left. He's well, screw the commander. I'm in charge here. We're going to go right.
Well, it also says like a higher officer, so he's not listening to.
The commander-in-chief,
Yeah. So he's not listening to. Yeah.
So for Flames of War, that is probably more in longs. It's like probably shouldn't make any decisions if you're upset. That could be bad.
Yeah, that goes back to making if they're an angry player, make them more angry.
Yeah, and that's on the other side. Like, probably don't want to make decisions where you're angry.
I guess that's true. I didn't think. I'm thinking about model standpoint, but I'm forgetting about the player aspect. So I see what you're saying there.
And also probably don't make any decisions that you resent before, because like, he just put out that nice new model. He's like, want to get to use them. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna ruin it. That's all I'm gonna ruin it. That might be a bad thing.
All right. Number 18. When the general is weak and without authority, when his orders are not clear and distinct, and when there are no fixed duties assigned to officers and men, and the ranks are formed in a slovenly, haphazard manner, the result is utter disorganization.
Well, since I just saw Bands of Brothers, I was like, perfect example of this is with Dyke. When the battle came in,
Right.
It's almost like this was made for him, because that's exactly what he did in the show. He gave no orders. He had nothing, and the men were just waiting for, like, what do we do? And in the Flames of War version, I think that'd be more like if you, like, kind of what you did in one of your battles, where you're like, okay, I'm going to shoot at this team, then I'm going to shoot at this team, then I'm going to shoot at this team. Well, you probably should have just put all your firepower into this unit.
Right. Oh, so you're saying I'm weak?
On that day. On that day.
All right. And the last one, 19, and we'll next time start at 20, which is a whole new section with 6 different things. So, number 19. When a general, unable to estimate the enemy's strength, allows an inferior force to engage a larger one, or hurls a weak detachment against a powerful one, and neglects to place picked soldiers in the front rank, the result must be a rout. Which, so it's...
Yeah, you do something really, really stupid, you can probably lose.
Yeah, so I'm going to go assault that unit over there. Well, that's your specialized assaulting unit that gets re-rolls and hits on 2s. Well, that was stupid.
Like, it's like, like your tanks, like, I'm going to assault these guys that everyone has Panzer.
Yeah, I learned my lesson on that one, though. I didn't realize they had all those Panzerfaust where they were in there.
Yeah, you're like, they're kind of crappy, but you don't need to hit that many times with the Panzerfaust.
I thought they were just peasants.
There are peasants.
I mean, with regular the villagers. I didn't realize. I forgot in World War II. That's what they armed them with.
Yeah.
And so
they're literally fighting for their homeland. So
I'm weak. I am so weak.
Get stronger.
I will. All right. So we will continue on number 20 in terrain next time.
And now for something completely off topic.
All right, so we played a couple of games. I think one of them was new for you. Yeah. One of them was new for me.
Okay.
So, but they were different games, and then I got one I'm going to talk about that somebody showed me. The first one was Smash Up.
Yeah.
It's the first time I played it.
That's my third, I think.
And so I think I took Ninja Werewolves.
I took Vampire Princess.
And then we had, I can't remember what, like Stampedes or something, Cavalry.
Oh, yeah, Cavalry, Bear.
Cats.
Cats.
They are cats, yeah. And so we played that, and to me it kind of reminded me of Munchkin. Not that you're kicking in the door and all this, it's just that, all right, I'm at level 9, I'm about to level up, go back.
Oh,
and you have to kind of restart, so it kind of had that.
Like, a lot of screw your neighbors.
Yeah. So it's like, I get built up, no, take that, you're back down. That's what it kind of felt like to me, that type of game.
Yeah, like the other 2 times, and then it felt like it was a little bit like that, but the beginning of the game we played, it was a lot of that, and it just kind of annoying, and it's kind of I lost the interest in playing. But as the game went on, it's like, I guess he just had all those screw you cards at the beginning, and there was less of that to go on.
Yeah. And so it went for a while. I was going to win. Yes, I was going to win. And you moved my guy. That kept me from winning. And I couldn't prevent it. I stopped. Daniel was playing, and I stopped him from moving. One of those things. So I got those points, and I was like, oh, you know what? If you're going to collect on this, I get to put this ninja in here, and I get 3. I'm going to get like 3 points, and that's what I needed to win. I was at 12 points, playing at 15. I'm going to win. So here, I'm going to play this ninja. And you go, no, you're not. You're going to move that ninja over to there. And
actually,
so
I was going to use it on Daniel. I'm like, Daniel, I'm going to boot you over. Wait, you're going to win?
Yeah.
I got to use it on you, otherwise the game's over.
Yeah. And so that was, so I lost that, and then I totally came third place because you and Daniel both, it was that last round, you guys were just adding up points, and I was...
Well, he wasn't that far behind. You needed to get to 15 points or higher to win. He was at like 14.
Yeah, I think I got 2. Yeah, I got 2 points on that.
So you got the 14. Daniel was at 16. I was at 17.
So close. Yeah, I was holding on to that card until that point.
It was a good card.
So for me, I don't really like games that you get built up and then, I'm going to smack you back down. Get built up again. Oh, you got back up, smack you back down again. I really don't get into those type of games.
Yeah, I think I like it once in a while, how silly the game is. And what the game is like you have, there's about 20 or 25 different decks. Each deck's based on a cliche or theme, like princesses, vampires,
dinosaurs, robots,
time travelers, and you pick 2, where you do 2 random. But I hate random. But I also don't know the game so well that I can pick based on power. I pick based on how silly do I want. Let's mix this and this. I don't even know how they work together. But yeah, I think I like the game once in a while. It's not something I want to play a lot of.
I agree with you on that. So the other one we played was Rocketville, which you're running for mayor in Rocketville. And you basically put a rocket in a spot, and we're trying to vie for the votes in that area. And you're basically playing a card with a number on it. And whoever got the highest number wins that area. And you also have like a pass card, because the only way to get cards in your hand is really play that pass card to get a card in your hand, or win certain areas that give you a card.
Yeah.
And it was just basically, it was a real quick game. Like 40 minutes maybe, 30?
About 30.
Yeah. And just moving around this map, trying to win certain areas, and then each, I'm going to say, district has a certain number of areas in it, and whoever collects the most areas, and like may have 6 spaces in that district, and whoever collects the most gets the popularity vote.
Yeah.
And then you go to the next district, and whoever's got first gets the most points there, and whoever got second gets the second most popularity votes, and then at the end of the game you see who had the most popularity votes wins the game.
Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those games where listening to the description of how to play took longer than I think it actually took to play the game. Because they're just like all these weird things I'm trying to understand, and actually start playing it like, okay, wow, this is really, really simple. It's just a lot of little bitty things you need to understand to get the game to work.
Yeah. And then one of them was like there's colored areas. So like there's yellow areas and green yellow areas and all this. And so you got these yellow cards. It's like, it's a 47, which is like really, really high. I think 50 is the highest. Something like that. You got a 47 yellow, but if you play anywhere else, it's 4.
Yeah.
And so you're holding on to that card. And this happened, I don't know how many times this happens to me in a game. Somebody goes, a yellow area, and you're going, I'm going to put this 47 down because I'm going to win this area. Flip it on 47, and the next player, 48. Like, no!
Well, it was really frustrating for me for the first, 10 or 12 territories. I lost every one.
Yeah, I saw you. You're like, oh!
It was like, I lose. It's like, this is getting old real quick.
Then you started winning.
Yeah, I actually came back. Overall, I was second place, and I wasn't behind Daniel by that much.
We weren't supposed to say that I came in third. I told you not to bring that up.
At least you beat... Oh, yeah, but with 3 players.
It's 3 players, yeah. I didn't win the popular vote.
Well, you took the bronze medal.
Gee, thanks. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I like that game.
Yeah, now that I know what I'm doing, it's like I think I wouldn't mind playing that more often. Definitely more often than Smash Up.
Yeah, it takes, once you know how to play it, 30 minutes at the
Yeah.
most, once you know how to play.
Probably even quicker than that. 'Cause I know it was like from the point where we're like, okay, let's play something else, to we actually finished the game. It was 1 hour, and there was a long time before we like.
Oh, we were debating what game to play. Well, do we just stop and all this?
Yeah, a lot of debating, set up, reading the rules, figuring out how to play the game, finish the game. 1 hour, so
Yeah, so
it's a really quick game.
Yeah, if we play it again, it's going to be 30 minutes.
At the most.
Yeah.
I think probably more like 20 minutes.
All right, the last one is somebody showed me this, and he learned it from some people that came from Germany, and it's called Take Two. And basically, what you do is you take the Scrabble tiles and take them out of the bag, get rid of the board. You put all the tiles on the table upside down, and you grab 6. And when somebody says go, you flip them over, and you're just using your 6 tiles. You try to make Scrabble words. You know, they have to cross and stuff like that. When you or somebody else uses all their tiles, you say take 2. Everybody has to take 2 more tiles and add them to their pile here. And you can rearrange your words now. What you're trying to do is get it so you can take 2. And if you aren't done, you're taking 2 more. And so the game ends when the last tiles are taken and somebody completes. Done. And then what you do is, how many ever tiles you haven't played, you count up like Q's, 10 points or something like that?
Yeah.
So if you have a Q and it's a 10, that's 10 points you don't want. So it's like less than 10-minute game. It is so quick.
Not one of my strong points, though, but...
Yeah, so it's just, all right, take this 6. Okay, start. Okay, done. Take 2. Boom, take 2. Everybody else takes 2, and then you play till all the tiles have been taken and that final person. It's a pretty fun little game. I mean, 10 minutes or less, you're just trying to find a quick game to play.
Yeah, sure. We might try it, but not something I'm good at.
I don't have any Scrabble. I guess you go to the discount stores.
Well, we have a little extra time. Like, there's something I did want to mention.
Okay.
We were recently in the game store, and we saw a new board game. It was like $125.
Oh, that's right. You didn't even see it. I was like, oh, gosh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you saw it. And just,
like, no, I was like...
All right, we were in the Warhammer section.
Yeah.
And you saw this. I pointed out the game, but then you were like, oh.
Yeah, it's a board game in the 40K universe about their assassins. And I've read someone's review over the contents of it. And it's kind of interesting. One thing is like, one reason it's so expensive is like it does not use your normal tokens or figures. They use Games Workshop's models.
Right.
They're very detailed models, so that automatically up the price. I think the guy even said that the actual models are the same models to sell to 40K players. And I think that also said that if this review was correct, the models in the board game cost more to buy them separately than the board game itself.
Wow.
Which wouldn't surprise me because I saw one of the models I think is like $25 to buy separately. So that's it'd be one of those things is like is that the plus or minus to you. If you like putting together models and painting them, that's a really good plus because they're really good quality. I saw pictures; they look really, really good. If you don't like putting stuff together, and it's also $125,
Yeah.
then you probably want to stay away from it. Me, I'm kind of want to try, but I'm also lost a lot of interest in 40K. If it was fantasy, I'd be all on it. But so I may or may not play it in the future.
All right, well, that's all I've done.
Same here.
Well, that wraps up another episode of War Journal, Flames of War. Your host, Arthur and Tracy, thank you for listening to this episode. You can find us on iTunes. If you like the episode, please subscribe and leave a positive review. You can find us on Facebook at Flames of War. And please like us. In addition, you can follow us on Twitter at warjournal_FOW. You can also find us on YouTube. Search for Tracy George, Flames of War. You can read Arthur's blog at chaosmagicwizards.blogspot.com. Finally, you can email us at warjournalflamesofwar@gmail.com. War Journal Flames of War is all one word, so no spaces are required. Also, please share the show on any social media of your choice. So, until next time, as always, have a good game.